Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Reginald Clay Jr. was a 24-year-old young man that lost his life to gun violence in the city of Chicago. For every story, there's a backstory to help you further understand why things happen. These are the stories of the wicked streets of Chicago.
The family of Reginald Clay Jr. is demanding answers. They say he was an innocent man who was chased down before being shot and killed by police.
Justice for Lorette! 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 Justice for Lorette!
On April 15th, 2023, a tragic encounter unfolded in Chicago's West Garfield Park neighborhood, leading to the death of 24-year-old Reginald Clay Jr. The incident took place on the 3800 block of West Flournoy Street, an area that has seen its share of struggles with violence and tension between residents and law enforcement. That evening, Chicago police officer Fernando Ruiz was responding to a call about a man allegedly with a weapon. As Ruiz approached the scene, a confrontation ensued between him and Clay. The exact details of what led to the shooting remain a point of contention, with different accounts from authorities and community members.
Sorry, man. I wish I was there for you, man.
Reginald Clay Sr. overwhelmed with emotion as he holds his son's only child in his arms. 3-year-old Kaylani now forced to grow up without her father, Reginald Jr., after he was shot and killed by Chicago police.
They pulled up. My brother backed up on the curve away from the car. After he got deeper into the gangway, I couldn't see him. I heard gunshots.
The shooting happened Saturday morning on Flournoy near Independence and Lawndale. Police say officers were on patrol today following a shooting in the area 2 weeks ago.
The officers were involved in a de-escalation mission for a gang conflict in that area.
That shooting on April 1st killed Christopher Patterson. Clay Jr.'s family says he was meeting up with friends on the street today before heading to Patterson's funeral when police pulled up. Investigators say that's when Clay ran from officers before being chased down in the gangway of an apartment building. Police say Clay then turned around, brandished a gun, then officers opened fire. Detectives tell us a gun was recovered from the scene.
If somebody turn around and brandish a gun, you're going to get hit in your torso, your stomach, and all that. My son got hit in his back 4 times, man.
As Clay's family deals with his death, they're also pleading for answers from those who shot and killed him.
How you posing a threat running with your back turned? That ain't no threat.
According to the police, Clay was armed and posed a threat, which led to the use of lethal force. However, community members and Clay's family questioned the necessity of the shooting, arguing that Clay was not a danger and did not deserve to lose his life. His death sparked public outcry, with activists and loved ones calling for transparency and accountability from the police department.
I'm Reginald's mother. I love to call him Lil Red, because that's what he always be, Lil Red. And like his father said and everyone else has said, that we already knew something was wrong. And like I said, it's a such thing as called a Freedom of Information Act. You can literally go look at COPA's and the CPD board, what they said. And this officer literally gave a statement saying that he knew when he chased my son, he couldn't get back at that alley. He knew. He said, I knew he couldn't get back out. So why did you go in? Especially with your gun out. Why did you go in? You didn't see nothing in his hand. You didn't see him do nothing. So why would you pull your gun and chase my son in an alley that you knew for a fact he couldn't get back out of? And also we need to ask, how do you know that? I can pass down the street 1,000 times. I don't know that this is locked where I can't get out of this. That means you often chase people back there. It's just this time it didn't go. It went to hell in a handbasket.
Yeah, no crime.
Seriously. And like I said, like that seems like so premeditated to do that. Knowing this. I know you can't get back out of here. So why would I chase you in there? Because, and like I said, I just want justice for my son. I just want everybody to be fair. I want you to pay attention. The same things that y'all have told us to do. Do your job. Do your job. Because like you was mentioning, I'm off work. He off work. You off work. But my taxes pay this man. He's still at work. But my taxes are going to pay for a lawyer, pay for other lawyers, for these other officers that killed people like Adam Salido, Anthony Alvarez. It has to stop. It has to stop. And like I keep saying, I'm taking it to the grave. I'm not going nowhere. Nowhere.
The aftermath of Clay's death led to protests in Chicago, highlighting long-standing tensions between law enforcement and the community. His family held vigils and organized events, demanding justice and pushing for reform. The incident brought further scrutiny to the Chicago Police Department, reigniting conversations about police practices and the need for oversight. The story of Reginald Clay Jr. serves as a somber reminder of the complex and often strained relationship between Chicago's communities and its police force. For those who knew him, Clay's memory is cherished as they continue to call for a fair investigation into the events of that April evening.
Justice for the red! Justice for the red!
And I think that what we can learn from the story of Lil Red is this. Honestly, that situation could have been avoided from both ends. When you're in the streets, everyone must take precautionary measures. The officers were supposed to be in the area to protect the people, not cause an uproar. And when you on the block, you got to pay attention to what's going on, especially when everyone's on high alert. And if you walking around with a gun on you, you got to be able to dispose of that gun within seconds. Because once the police get on you, a lot of times it's hard to get them up off you. And you fumbling with a gun, whether you trying to get rid of it or not, can and will be looked at as you trying to shoot the police. One example that comes to mind is the Lil B situation, where he was actually shot in the back and the police justified it because he had a gun on him. What Lil B was trying to do was actually get rid of the gun, but it kind of ended just like this. Officer Ruiz was under so much scrutiny because this wasn't his first shooting. Officer Fernando Ruiz is shown aiming his gun at Raymond Comer during the shooting August 12, 2022. Ruiz faces dismissal from the Chicago Police Department for fatally shooting another man, Reginald Clay, during a foot pursuit 8 months later. So what they saying is that this officer was pretty much gun-ho, and I would agree with that. He was a shoot first, ask questions later type of officer. And in this specific situation, I can't say that he was all the way wrong, but I damn sure can't say that he was all the way right. Let this be a lesson to those of us that are in the streets and are forced to carry guns every day just to protect ourselves. Anything can happen within the blink of an eye, so always be ready and expect the unexpected. There's so many people that have lost their lives because of decision that they made within a split second. And when it comes to shit, it's easy to get in, but it's hell to get out of. This has been another episode of Wicked Streets of Chicago. It's your boy, SNTV.
Shooting of a man last year, Reginald Clay Jr. killed as he ran from police in the North Lawndale neighborhood. Now, body camera video shows him pulling a firearm from his waistband before he was shot. Tonight, the police board recommended that Officer Fernando Ruiz be fired for violating the department's policies on foot pursuits and de-escalation. Ruiz is still able to request another hearing or arbitration. Family and friends of Clay want the officer to face criminal charges.